Out Carswell, Flournoy, Kyle Prater was very limited, tried to go a little bit, we pulled him out. Blake Ailes did not practice with a hamstring for the first time. Martin Coleman had a concussion, basically did not do any contact. And that's it as far as new injuries or guys not practicing.
But James Boyd?
James Boyd was fine to the best of my knowledge, unless something happened late that I didn't see.
Like Stanley was back in there today?
Yeah, I talked to Stanley, I talked to a number of our team, or a number of our players that came to me, including TJ, that were there with the situation, saw everything and really felt that Stanley should be back, part of the team, basically begged me to bring him back. I know after talking with Stanley a lot, a number of different times, the way he feels, how hurt he was by what happened and the attention brought to it. And the biggest thing for me was dealing with TJ, and TJ explaining to me that this thing was done 8 days ago. Right after it happened, Stanley apologized to him. They had moved on 8 days ago, and obviously it just kind of became a story as it got later and he couldn't practice.
So is there going to be any further discipline, or is
not as of now? No.
But so you still could decide to do something else?
I could, yeah. I don't foresee that, but.
What did it mean, the other players coming and saying they wanted Stanley back?
I think it speaks volumes for outside of this decision that Stanley made, a mistake that he made, who he is and what he's been about. And it's not like he just got here; he's been here for a long time, and he made a mistake, and one that I know he's very remorseful for. And we're moving on.
Are you concerned at all that people might have the perception that you went easy on him, that you just held him out for one day and deserved maybe a stiffer punishment?
I think that you guys know me, I don't really concern myself with the perception of people outside of our program. I'm concerned about our players and how they are and how our team is and how our staff is and the people inside of our program.
How's Stanley's hamstring? I know it was hurt a little bit prior to it.
Yeah, we could have kept him out today and said we were keeping him out longer to please people outside of our program if we wanted to, because he really didn't do anything today anyway after individual, but we didn't. He's back with us. But his hamstring is sore. He couldn't play if we were going to play right now anyway.
So could he have practiced yesterday if there nothing?
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, he could have. He could have done what he did today, go through the first 45 minutes of practice. And he could have gotten a lot of use out of our walkthroughs yesterday, too, that he missed.
What were your impressions of today's practice?
Well, we went a little shorter, and I thought it was pretty good. I think they're going along at a good pace and not just kind of going through the motions, which is usually a concern right about now. So I'm pretty pleased where we're at now, especially mentally.
I know it's still early to really form some solid impressions of the freshmen, but what have you seen of Ambles so far?
Yeah, really the two Z's, what we call the flankers, Markeith and Robert Woods, have really stepped right in and done a phenomenal job. They don't look like freshmen. They've really had a bunch of reps, bunch of big plays. They're not screwing up alignments very often at all. So we're really excited about those two. Robert most resembles Steve Smith, guys that were here to us, and coming in he's actually faster than Steve was, so we're excited about both those guys.
You worked with the tight ends. What about them that you saw today?
Just trying to bring those guys along, with three highly recruited freshmen that have a bunch of talent, and it's a little harder position to to come in and play right away than it is at receiver because of the blocking side of it, especially in our practices with our big physical defensive ends. So we're just trying to bring those guys along and figure out which guys will be playing for us.
Yeah, Chris was at end today.
Yeah, same thing as yesterday. What we did, just moving guys around, just like Simi went both ways today in meetings and walkthroughs, and then played out here for us. So we're going to continue to, especially the young guys, just kind of move guys around and make sure that we have them in the right spots.
When you go ahead.
Is there anything in particular that you're going to be looking at? You're going to scrimmage tomorrow?
Yes.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking at?
Yeah, it really goes to the next level of things. It's one thing when you're not in any pads at all, and now you put on half pads, and so now, and some guys start to disappear a little bit at that and fall off a little bit, and it'll be interesting to see tomorrow. The hardest thing for guys to do is when it gets live, like tomorrow is to maintain their technique and do things right because they try to get in the game mentality. So it's going to be it'll be very valuable for us tomorrow, especially with these freshmen who we've never seen in a live situation.
What have you thought of the kicking so far? Because in the spring, you guys didn't get to look at that very much.
Yeah, we really took a lot of individual work throughout spring, and then have put more group work in this camp. I've been very pleased with the kicking so far, punting and kicking both. And Joe has showed a little more range than I guess I would have thought that he had. So I'm excited about that. As I mentioned yesterday, we're going to need to be phenomenal in special teams. As not just this year, but as we go through this run of limited players.
Is there a certain point where you want to make the call on who's going to be the kicker and who's going to be the middle linebacker, like a week before the first game, or is there a deadline that you have in your mind?
Every position can be different. We may be able to make a call on a position today, and we may not until the week of the game. It just depends on how close it is and the difference of it. Have we seen enough to be able to make that decision?
And is that kicker battle one of those ones that's way too close to call?
I wouldn't say way too close, but it's still early, and we haven't had live rushes yet. So as we get going through camp, we'll put some more live rushes where there's more pressure on them.
Is one ahead of the other at this point?
I don't know. It's still really early.
It's pretty early, but has there been anyone that has surprised you, sort of, anyone in a position battle or someone who you didn't really expect, or I don't know, has there been someone who surprised you so far in camp?
James Boyd, he's played really well at defensive end for us. A new position for him and moving him there, and really has looked a lot different for us. Looks more comfortable over there, and he's still a baby. He just finished up his freshman year, so he's been a real pleasant surprise over there because we didn't know much about him. He was throwing touchdowns last time I saw him.
What was the basis of that decision to move him? He seemed like he was so excited about moving the quarterback when he did that.
It was him. He came to me and said he felt like that's where his future would be, and so he moved him.
Did Jackson transferring maybe add to that?
No, this was all him. Unless that's why he did it. He came to me. I can't remember. I think it was before that. And he came to me and said he felt that was his best position. I'd like to give it a try.
Good.